What's up guys? So today I'm going to be taking you through my quad and calf workout. Before we do that, first thing obviously we need to warm up. Before we get to that. Practice on the warm-up, I was doing very close stance leg press. The reason behind that is obviously, as I said, it's a quad workout, so you want to focus as much attention as possible on the quad itself. And the movement itself actually quite replicates like a leg extension because of how close the feet are and how low I come down with it as well. As you can see, it's much more of an extension of the press. So you might have noticed as well that my heel's actually coming off the leg press. Because it is a quad orientated movement, it's totally fine if the heels come off as long as you're pressing with your toes. That keeps the tension in the quads. So I usually like to start heavy and then work my way down with the weight. Obviously increase the reps, get some more volume in. Right, so I'm going to start the working sets. It's going to be start off 8. I usually like to start off heavy. Start fatiguing the muscles a little bit, and then after getting the heavies in, as I said, we'll drop down the weight, increase the volume, get some more reps in. Get some more blood pumped into the muscle. Another important thing to mention with this movement is try to always keep the weight controlled on your way down, and then when you press up, a big exposed rep with pushing with your toes obviously. So 3 plates aside now. Going to increase the reps to 10. It should get easier, but it's really not going to because obviously we're doing more reps, which is going to fatigue us more. At this point, we'll focus more on getting some good controlled reps in. Focus on getting some blood pumped into the muscle. Get ready for the rest of the workout. Obviously, one big thing to mention, as you do drop the weight, the quality of the reps should get better. Obviously got less weight to handle, so it should be easy to control it, get some good quality reps in. In bodybuilding, everything is about quality reps. That's fatiguing me very well. We'll drop the weight down again. 2 plates this time. So I'm going to go for 12 reps. Totally controlled. We're going to slow down the tempo as well a little bit. So try and pump as much blood as possible into the muscle before we move on to calves. Alright, fifth set, 12 reps. Another thing you might have noticed as well, don't actually ever lock out. It's quite a bad habit to lock out on the leg press. It can be quite dangerous, snap your knee in different ways. Anyway, it also is really good because it keeps the constant tension on your quads, which is obviously what you want, the constant tension. Right. That was a great way to start a quad workout. Totally destroyed. Can really feel the burn. Now we're going to move on to do some calves on the Smith machine. Right, so next exercise, Smith machine calf raise. I've used this exercise for literally 95% of the time I've trained my calves, and it's shown me some amazing results. We'll do 8 sets total. So the first thing we want to do is obviously warm up. Even though we did warm up at the beginning, we're going to be isolating a new muscle. We just barely got any work in the previous exercise, just to prevent any injuries. Let's do it warm up. I found that works best for calves. Might be quite self-explanatory, but it's just train it properly. What I mean by that is obviously get full range of motion in, use weight that you can handle, obviously to get the full range of motion, quality reps, especially because it's such a difficult muscle to grow. Just get the good reps in, get the good quality reps in. You should control the weight at all times, which is what I'm going to be doing for these 4 sets. I'm trying to get 12 reps in. Every rep is going to be controlled, nice slow tempo, create as much tension in the muscle as possible. Something you might have noticed, which I did on there, was on each rep at the top I was actually having like a 1 second pause. That was just to emphasize the contraction. Make sure obviously to get good contraction and quality of reps. I keep repeating that, but it's important. As you saw, the tempo was quite slow. You probably noticed every rep was one good solid rep, which is what you want for the calves, especially it's such a hard muscle to train, to grow. So you want to make sure you get the best quality reps in. The weight is totally irrelevant, it's not about weight. You want to get a good stretch on the muscle, a good extension on the muscle. Here's what you saw, all the way down with the heels. So, now we're going to drop the weight. We're going to have 25 kilos aside. We're going to do a drop set, so we're going to do 10 reps, and we'll drop to 10 reps on body weight. Even though we're dropping the weight, we are dropping the reps. We're going to increase the tension, so what we're going to do is we're going to slow down the tempo. Each rep, the negatives are going to be slower, the contractions are going to be slower, to create as much tension as possible in the muscle. And then we're going to drop down to body weight, just to emphasize and get some more blood in there. So let's get to it. just about perfect. So what I want to do with the weight, we want to kind of fatigue the muscle, get a lot of lactic acid in there. And then what we're doing by dropping to body weight is we make the movement easier by continuing the exercise, the movement. There's just so much lactic acid pumped into the muscle, just burns. That's the best way I've found to grow your calves. Get like some good 12 reps in first, so a decent weight, and then focus on quality reps, good contractions, a bit lower weight, using the muscle. Right, so for the calves, we're going to move on to some squats. This is going to be a different variation of the squats. Close stance, arse to grass, full range of motion to fully stretch out the quads. So I'm going to do one warm-up set just because the leg press was a while ago, and I get the quads back warmed up, getting ready. We have some heavier weights in. That's the depth you want to be going at, to fully stretch out the quad because it is a quad focused workout. So we're going to be doing 4 sets, 10 reps at 100 kilos. It's just going to be to get a good stretching in the quads. So that's why we're only doing 4 sets, nothing fancy, just single sets before we move on to some more isolation. Because of the range of motion, because of the technique that we're using, the close foot stance, it's quite an advanced training method. So if you do want to try it, be careful with it because obviously there's a lot of hip ankle flexibility involved in it. So if you can't quite go as slow, you do want to try it, work on the flexibility first. On the last rep, I like to do a bit of a pause rep. It's just about every exercise I do, just to kind of a bit of stretching, fatigue the muscle a bit more before I get the last rep in. This quite worked pretty well actually, to get that little bit extra out of the muscle. Next exercise after the squats, I want to do 6 sets on the leg extension. So now we're just starting to fully isolate the quads. I want to do 4 single sets. Same as on the squats, kind of 10 reps, and then we're going to do 2 drop sets. But they're going to be a bit of a different type of drop sets. I'll show you them when we get to them. So let's do the single sets. So on this one, at any given time you want to be controlling the weight. Should have control of the weight throughout the whole set. Have like a half a second pause at the top, emphasize the contraction, and then make sure to control the weight all the way down. A good stretch in. So after doing all the hard movements, exercises, all the big movements, it's a good time to start to isolate the muscle because obviously they're already fatigued. All the fixator muscles which you would be hitting, for example the squat, will be tired, so technique and form will drop. And so this is a good time to do all the isolation movements where you can just emphasize work on the one muscle that you want to hit, which is what we're doing now. So now we're going to do the 2 drop sets. They will be a bit different though. They're going to be single leg drop sets. We're going to be going relatively light. I'm going to start on a 32 actually. I'm going to do 8 reps per leg. The only time the one leg is going to be resting is the other leg working. So it's going to be quite intense. This is the best way I found to pump as much blood as possible into the muscle before we move on to the last exercise. So. At this point, where we've dropped the weight more, we're going to increase the reps to 10. This one I tend to do both legs, just get the movement in. Feels very light, but it's about as soon as you get to a contraction, the burn starts again. This is absolutely great as like a finisher for leg extensions. For the workout just in general, crazy pump. The burn is awesome. It generally feels like someone's got a lighter and it's just burning the muscle straight. Yeah, it's very good. It's like constantly working, constant supply of blood, oxygen, everything. So we'll do one more set of that and then we'll move on to the last exercise. the great thing about this method of doing the single leg at a time is the one leg that's always resting is at a stretched out, so it's like at the bottom here, which means the quad is stretched out. Now the great thing about that is it keeps the tension on it, so if you would obviously relax it like that, it would let the lactic acid free up and obviously get some oxygenated blood in there. But by keeping it stretched out, it keeps the tension, so at all times there's going to be lactic acid in there. Right, so the last exercise we're going to do, sumo dumbbell squat. Now you would think this is actually, in general, this is actually more of a glute hamstring exercise. I've kind of adapted it for my own needs though, so it really targets the quads. I will show you how to do that. I use this as a finisher, just to kind of, because the way I do it, I can really emphasize the quads. So I'll show you the way I do that. So you actually want to have, the way I have is I have my toes pointing out, and that's the way my knees are going to go. So the movement itself is fairly similar. It's just when I come back up, I push my knees in and consciously contract my quads. We'll do 12 reps like that. So I come in and consciously contract my quads. By doing that, I can emphasize my quads. It's a good way of like getting a bit of a finisher in, pumping some blood in. So there is going to be a bit of glute engaging as well. But if you, as I said, consciously, so you physically contract your quad as you come in, you push your knee in, and you contract your quad, that's going to emphasize it, it's going to focus on your quad, and it's an absolute great finisher for your workout. The movement actually becomes really difficult towards the last 4 reps. Because of all the conscious contracting, it just it gets harder and harder to get a good contraction, and that's good. That's what you want for a finisher, to actually fatigue the muscle. That's exactly what we want here. Right, so that concludes the full quad and calf workout. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something useful from it. So these videos are going to come out every month. This first video is going to be available on YouTube for everybody to see. In the future though, they will be Patreon only, so check those out. There's a link on screen and in the description. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, as I said, and thank you for watching.
Till the lights go out. So like